After that, the semifinals, 80 women. The first two riders are going through to the big final. From there, and the riders at 3 and 4 are competing in the small final. So after the semifinals of 80 women category, the semifinals 80 men, and then the small final 80 women, small final 80 men, big final 80 women, big final 80 men. So almost ready to go with the start of the big show here today. UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup Leuven, Belgium. Thousands of viewers from all over the world watching the fastest mountainbike eliminator racing off the road. Once again, all the riders be on time at the start. Also, the 80 men will ride the quarterfinals straight after the quarterfinals of the 80 women. Dadelijk in de eerste kwartfinale gaan we kijken naar de nummer 1, de nummer 8, de nummer 9 en de nummer 16. Dat is het behoorlijke bak. Gaia vanuit Italië. Drievoudig wereldkampioen. 2021 wereldkampioen in Gras-Mountainbike. 2020.
Hello and welcome to round 5 of the UCI Mountainbike Eliminator World Cup for 2024. With me, Emma Martin. Back in the studio with me today is
Matt Payne.
Well, round 5 today coming to you from Leuven in Belgium. Tormena and Lind took the win in Sakaria, putting them both at the top of the women's and men's overall World Cup standing. Though with 54 riders on the start sheets today, including Fromberger and Gegenheimer, who have both got their way through to the quarterfinals. Will they stay on the top spot? Matt, run us through the course.
Well, we have a really interesting chicane onto the start straight before this tight left-hand turn. This the first and tightest of the turns on the initial part of the track onto this wave feature, which has a habit of unsettling the riders, particularly if it gets a little bit damp. From there, we've got a straight run down one line pretty much for the riders until they come into, this is a straight double, basically take off on the upslope, land on the far side, don't get it wrong, otherwise you're going to see that bike catapulting through the air. Onto the cobbles and a drop down into the second of the squares after this long sweeping left. Take this too fast, you're going to slide out, particularly with these small steps. They're about 2 centimetres high, each one of these steps, into another tight left-hander this time, making your way onto the step up. Get this right at full speed, you're going to clear, go over the top. If you get it wrong, you're going to land on that up face and it can catch you out then. Back up the steps, back around onto this, the wall ride. Now, there have been overtakes put in on here before. However, it's going to be tricky here because this is the long run in. The start comes in from the left-hand side by the Red Bull Arch. But this long straight here, you can see how much room and how much time our riders have to overtake coming through and in to that line, whether that's on lap 1 or going into the finish.
Well, thank you to Gaia Tormena for that footage. She's also at the top today because those are the time trial results, setting the fastest time from Berger in 2, just shy of 2 seconds back to Showsitter in 3, Boissier 4, Closier in 5, Migdam 6, Civil, De Vries, who won round 3 there down the sheet. So this is what it looks like in the women's quarterfinals. Tormena, De Vries, Van Dietst and Kuiper, Fromberger, Civil, Abrahamson, Soert, Boissier, Closier, Pennings and Beck. Then we have Showsitter, Migdam, Schrotzenberger and Hubers. But this is heat number 1 for the women's quarterfinals. From the Netherlands, Van Dietst, from Italy, Tormena, from the Netherlands, De Vries, and Kuiper, also from the Netherlands. So the 15-second counter just standing there now, getting ready to go. This is heat number 1.
So you see our riders lined up, ready to go. Keep your eye on the World Champions jersey. Gaia Tormena will want to lead this from the start, but you can just see that Didi De Vries taking that inside line allowed her to just cut out the rider alongside. However, going round on the outside, Van Dietst in the black are really working over the top, looking for a way through this, that narrow chicane. One line through here as they come across into the double. You can see all 3 riders going over. In fact, it looked to me like Van Dietst almost over jumping that and landing almost to the flat on the far side. And it looks to me like the gap that has opened up really has opened up now to Elodie Kuiper, who is now in 4th place and not looking like she's going to make her way through. The gap opening at the front, but remember, 2 riders through. Moving on from this, moving on to the semi-finals, 2 riders being eliminated. So at the moment you can see Tormena in 1 with the World Champions jersey. In 2, that is Didi De Vries in the Dutch National Champions jersey. Kicking on here as Van Dietst starts to pressure from behind. You can see Kuiper in the distance as they come through that line for the end of lap 1, the start of lap 2. The battle is the battle between Van Dietst and look at the big moving fact by Van Dietst, just able to push out Didi De Vries. De Vries now pushed down into 3rd place, and that means limited opportunities now for Didi De Vries to come around. She's the rider in the red, white and blue on the heels of Van Dietst. And Tormena now with a clean run. She's got to keep it rubber side down and keep it smooth. She's got mixed memories of Leuven here before. She's had great times and she has had bad times. At the moment it looks like she's making this a great time. Behind her though, now the pressure on Van Dietst, because you can see Didi De Vries really pushing up against the back wheel there. Van Dietst into the wall ride. Where's the move going to be made? Oh, on the underneath there. Great move by Didi De Vries. Not sure she's carrying enough pace. Has she got the sprint to out sprint the rider in the black? That's Amu Van Dietst. Van Dietst can't relax. She eased off there. And De Vries is not going to give up. Oh, it goes down to the line. Tormena goes through. Van Dietst, I think, just did enough. De Vries kept it honest all the way.
Well, I can tell you that's 0.08 of a second. Anne-Moon Van Dietst takes 2nd place in the final qualifier spot from Didi De Vries. Tell you something, De Vries worked so hard to try and come round on that final lap. Absolutely added motivation from taking the win in round 3. Really wanted to prove herself. So round 4, Pennings, Closier, Boissier and Beck lined up with 15 seconds to go.
Great to see Beck here into the quarter-final. She's the rider who drops immediately in behind Boissier, so it's Boissier leads them out. And in fact, I think that is who has just dropped into the gap between Beck and Boissier on the very back. Hilda Pennings in the red and black, but as they go over the top, Madison Boissier, a rider who we've seen maturing and riding better and better over the course of the seasons. In number 1, she's got the former world champion denoted by the stripes on her shoulder there in 2, and the battle for 3 and 4 at the moment is absolutely frantic. We saw that move there by Pennings, so Hilda Pennings going into 3, Hannah Beck dropping back down into 4, and the gap between 2 and 3 is opening out. So At the moment, Boissier leading this out. Closure, will she try and challenge? Will she push right up? They've got a reasonable gap now to Pennings and to Beck, but at the moment, with the riders coming around towards the line for the first time, this is looking good for our two leading riders. Remember, 2 through, 2 riders eliminated. Boissier there doing the work, pushing in through the wind, and that shot gives you a good indication. It is a slight drag up through this start finish. Closure takes a good long look behind, looks at the gap, really mature riding there, making sure that she knows where the other riders are. How much of a gap does she have? How much energy does she need to expend in this part of the race? Boissier now takes that slightly wider right hand line. Closure just popping it up and over. I'm not sure that landing is quite as smooth from Closure as she would maybe want. These riders getting lots of practice time out on the track here in Leuven in Belgium. And these riders, they drop down over those steps, keeping those cobbles in control. Now up on to the next obstacle, no problems, up the steps they go. Oh, and a little bit of a tumble. The door was shut there by Boissier. Closure took a little look up the inside and she was punished for it. It means that she now has the work to do to get on the wheel. It doesn't look like she's going to go up and challenge, but it will be logged. Will we see that come back to haunt Boissier a little bit later on? I think it is going to be Madison Boissier who's going to come through to take number 1. Number 2 will be Closure. Behind, it's going to be Pennings, who has stayed ahead of the rider there, Hannah Beck, in 4th place.
Wow, Madison Boissier proving why she's currently lying 3rd in the World Cup standings at the moment, qualifying Q1. Closure in 2, the 2 French women through. This is heat number 3, so it's the Belgian rider Soert, the Estonian rider Civil, German rider Fromberg, and the Swedish rider Abramson lined up and ready to go.
Now Bramson is regularly one of our fastest starters and fastest on the track, but she's coming from the outside to the inside and she's going to take away the start there. Fromberger drops into 2nd place now in the time trial. Fromberger came to the start line, found she had a puncture, was able to delay her start and put in a time that took it into 2nd position. The rider's plate number indicates their position in the time trial. Fromberger in 2nd place in the time trial. Now a little bit further back, just seeing a little bit of a problem there for Silva, just going over those doubles, not clearing the doubles, choosing to ride them, keep the tyre in contact, but it's not done her any harm here. She rolls on, carrying the pace onto the back wheel of Fromberger, and because the pace from Abramson is not enough to detach Seville, it means that Fromberger now knows that she's got a rider alongside. When you're riding on these courses, when you're riding through this section through town, despite the noise pumping out from the stereo, but despite the crowd, you can hear, you can feel where the riders are, and at the moment Fromberger knows that she could be challenged. She looks over her left shoulder, but Silva is out to the right there as they come through. The gap has opened up to Sotart, so Justine Sotart with a lot to do. She's going to need something major to happen in front. How long will Silva wait? Where will she make a move? Fromberger goes over the top here of Abramson as Silva takes a look up the inside. And I'll tell you something, Sotart is not out of this yet. Fromberger, though, goes to the front. She starts to open the throttle. She starts to stretch that lead out. You can see that pace she wants to hold just a little bit higher. And you can see Silva there losing time, rolling over that double rather than taking to the air and flying over the top. It's cost her time, but both these riders now dropping back. So a bit like we saw with Gaia Tormena going clear, our leader Fromberger has opened up the gap. She's got to keep this smooth. That was a little bit dodgy going up onto the top of the step up. She only just made that. There was nearly a mistake there, and that could have cost her dear. Behind the battle for 2nd, 3rd is getting closer. Seville is right on to the heels here of Abramson. Abramson in the blue with the yellow cross on there. Big sprint coming from Seville on the side there. A look across, and I'll tell you something, that is going to be a great ride by Seville. What a kick from her. She heads almost onto the wheel of Fromberger. Fromberger and Seville go through, and Abramson eliminated along with Justine Sotart.
Wow, phenomenal riding there from Fromberger and Cyril in that final stretch. But interesting to see that ramp with the changing gradient about 2/3 of the way up, almost catching Fromberger out there. That is one to watch. Well, this is the quarterfinals. It's the final heat. Schwarzenberger, Migdam, Schuster and Huberts lined up with 15 seconds to go.
So Huberts on the right-hand side, Schwarzenberger On the left-hand side, sandwiched in between, we have got a very fast pairing. Who is going to take the whole shot? Who's going to get the first shot out from this corner? Big kick as they go through, and look at that great move by Valentin Schwarzenberger to move up into the lead into corner one. You've got to keep it rubber side down. That she carried a lot of pace in. Rachel Hubert's carrying pace onto the back wheel here. This is incredibly tight at the moment. 4 riders in contention at the moment. Valentin Schwarzenberger with that white helmet with the blue at the front. It is a good position to be in, because at the moment, second and third, well, they're having a real fight behind, but they are right on the back wheel here of Schwarzenberger. Can they pressurize her into making a mistake here? That's what they're looking for on this long or sweeping turn coming in onto the step up. 1, 2, 3, 4 riders on. Almost didn't make it there. Rachel Hubert's needing to carry a little bit more speed to lift herself up, use that ramp to gain the height. As they come in around, though, it is going to be Huberts who is on the back foot. She's the rider in 4th position in the back of the shot. Big kick here coming down the straight, though, from Chanel de Chaussiter. She's going to open a gap now on the riders behind it. It's a long look back. She can see that she's got Lynn Migdam. Migdam can see that behind her is Schwarzenberger. Schwarzenberger knows she's got a gap to Huberts. Chanel de Chaussiter use that straight to good effect. It's the best overtaking place on this circuit. Over the double, 1, 2 smoothly over, and you can see there the energy that it requires to push over that double. Not there for what is going to be a very tired Valentin Schwarzenberger. And it looks to me that after leading lap number 1, Schwarzenberger has expended too much energy. He's now paying the price as we've seen the gap open. Chanel de Chaussiter on the front with the red helmet, with the black helmet. That is Lynn Migdam, the Belgian rider, in front of the Danish rider behind. Both these riders more than capable of getting into the finals. At the moment, they're making their way through. If they keep this together all the way to the line from our quarterfinals into the semifinals, they'll be the last 2 to join that lineup. They come to the line. Chanel de Chaussiter stops the watch. Lynn Migdam comes through behind. Schwarzenberger, after leading for a lot of that race, not able to take it to the finish, but a good race by her. Now to Rachel Huberts, well, she will have to go again when we move on to our next round.
That was the last quarter-final and led out by the young Frenchwoman, but then being moved through to 3rd place. An interesting race there we saw, because that first lap, absolute flyer from Schwarzenberger, only to be overtaken by de Chaussiter and Migdam, and then moving into 3rd place. Well, it's going to be the quarterfinals men's race that is up next, but this is the results of the quarterfinals. So Tormena van Diest, Fromberger, Cyril, Boissier, Closier, de Chaussiter and Migdam, the riders qualifying through to the semi-finals in the women's race. Well, in the men's 8th finals, it all took place. Stiebel went out, so did Bitterbit, so did Perrin Gagne, the world champion, and Tarasoft. Now, Lynn setting the fastest time in the time trial earlier on, but the fastest 4 riders, Lind, Hauser, Riker and Ceres, within a second of each other on this course. This is going to be such a fast set of quarterfinals. So Van Looy, Brown, Lind and Molnar. This could be a final, but it's not. It's heat number 1 for the quarters.
So away we go. This is a kick off from the line. A quick reminder for you that we are looking to see who's going to take this out. Big left-hand turn there as they came in and round. Molnar looking good. He is ahead of the man with that series leaders jersey. That's the number 1 plate. It's the man who keeps on taking top spot in a qualifier. That's Lind, but at the back, Zinny Van Looy. Now, Van Looy was on a podium here previously in Leuven. Can he repeat it? 2 years ago, he got a 3rd place. At the moment, though, the action on the front being led out by Molnar. He goes on to the step up, no problems at all. The challenge comes on the left-hand side from Lind, and the revelation of 2 rounds ago, Lachlan Brown. Lachlan Brown went from hero to zero in the space of 2 rounds. Can he get himself back up into that superhero status? Is in position. He's trying to hold the wheels of the series leader, and behind, Zinny Van Looy is really going to need to pull something special out on lap number 2 of 2 as they go out around that left-hand turn. So the man who has the European Champions jersey, that is Eddie Carroll. Molnar on the front. What side move over the top there now. Will it stick? Lachlan Brown challenge. He pushes up on the inside. They're side by side. There's not room for 2, and Lachlan has to give her best there, but it pushes the series leader wide. Lachlan's on the inside. They are side by side. How are they keeping it on the floor? Over the jump they go. On that step up, Molnar is in all sorts of trouble here because he's being butted and barged from behind by the 2 riders behind. He knows that he's up against it. The sprint is on for the line. Who's going to make it through? Van Looy's going to be the first one, I think, to be eliminated out here. It's between the 3. Can Brown get there? Brown is not going to make it. Molnar and Lind are going to go through. Brownie's going to go out in the quarterfinals. Wow, what a tale of the track at the moment. It is a track that caused upset in the qualifying in the time trial. We saw the previous European champion eliminated. That is Klemenchik.
Well, it is indeed, and we've got Wall, Plas, Ceres and Schwarzenberger on heat number 2, and they are ready to go.
Okay, so our riders are ready to go. Off they go. Super fast turnaround here as we move in. Ceres, Plas, Wall and Schwarzenberger. And look at this, they're already bouncing each other off each other as they go around those turns. Ceres with that number 4 plate, leading them out in that darker blue. Up onto the top, they drop down behind him. You can see it is going to be the rider from France. That is a Wall in the orange. Look at how close this is. So would you like to pick who is in there? Who is taking this out when we come to the finish? Another move in behind there. Plas makes a move over the top. I think that's going to be a Schwarzenberger who drops into position 4. But this is by no means all over. Wow, look at that control coming on. He only just got the front wheel down on the top. Ceres carrying so much pace, but that pace has opened up a gap. Either that or they're afraid to sit on his back wheel. He is throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at this course. It has paid off because he's got a gap. Has he done too much too soon, though? Lorenzo Ceres really working hard. He's got the lead in second place. It is going to be a Wall. Third place is Plas. Then it's Schwarzenberger behind. Schwarzenberger, a man who only a couple of seasons ago was really making some very entertaining moves on other people. Well, it's not happening at the moment now as they come up in and round. It looks to me like we have had issues on the way through because we've got Wall there. We have got Schwarzenberger, and I think Plas just coming out of contention. There 3 riders now instead of 4, and that is going to cause a problem for Plas. He's going to be out of this. So here we go up on to the top. We go over the back. Ceres holds it on that step up, no problems at all, still holding the lead. Who will go through? Ceres is looking good. He's got to keep this together. He's into that final sprint. He kicks his way up and out. He's going to go take this clear. Behind him, the sprint is on behind it. It's between the man who qualified 12th and the man who qualified 13th. It's down to the line. Oh, he nearly gets through. Almost had the door shot on him. Schwarzenberger cannot push through the gap.
Well, let me tell you, 0.02 of a second Schwarzenberger from Wall. The 3 Frenchmen fighting it out in that heat. This is just the quarterfinals. It could well be each round the finals of the men's competition because the racing is so tight with the quality of this race field today. But it's Lorenzo Ceres, Justin Wall qualifying with the 2 qualifying positions. Quentin Schwarzenberger by the skin of his teeth going out. Well, if we thought that was good, you just wait, because this is heat number 3. We've got Nemec, Hauser, Gerli and Tornillion. It is going to be cracking.
So the whistle goes, it is race start. Gerli gets a good start here. He's kicking down hard. Has he done enough? Oh, and look at this. He gets a grandstand view of the elbow-to-elbow action between Nemec and Hauser. Hauser in the white, Nemec from Czechia right up and mixing it. The number 10 plate with the yellow and blue jersey there in second wheel. I'm telling you something, I'm not quite sure how all four riders are still rubber side down. They are rubbing his racing, but I tell you, this is going to be tight because these riders want to come through now. Move on the left-hand side. Big dive down. Nowhere to go, though, for the man with the number 18 plate. That is Loic Tonilon. Can he push through now? Garrely's on the outside. Garrely could be in trouble here. He's on the back wheel of Nemec. He can't get past him. Very difficult to overtake, very limited opportunities. They all know that this is prime overtaking as moment, but look at this. Hauser on the front has got the power and the speed. He's letting them fight it out, and Garrely now makes a move over Nemec. So the man with the Hungarian national champions jersey goes into second position at the moment. Loic Tonilon holding his powder dry, I think. We know he's got a good sprint. He's got the technique. Is he saving energy? Letting Nemec and Garrely fight it out. Saving that energy for a massive kick on the finishing straight if he gets the opportunity. At the moment, Hauser on the front. The man with the white with the red bands across, opening up the gap onto the straight. But Garrely, doesn't want to be in that danger position. Look at him. He's coming round on the outside. He's carrying that pace. He forces Hauser to the left-hand side there. And now they're going to be pushing as they come round here. Garrely comes up on the inside. The door is shut. Hauser's like, not a chance, sunshine. You're not coming in today. And the sprint is starting. Hauser has got loads of power to burn. Look at this. He doesn't look like he's trying. He opens the gap coming out of that corner. How does he find the speed? I know he's carrying speed from the wall ride, but I'm not sure where he gets it from. Garrely there punches the bus. He really wanted to win. That was close.
Well, Theo Hauser currently lying third in the World Cup standings at the moment, showing his absolute class there to win that heat. Garrely into this is heat number 4. Klausmann, Gegenheimer, Riker, all from Germany, and Kalhoven from France.
So this is getting even more frantic. Klausmann with a fast start. Gegenheimer, the former world champion. Kalhoven and Rika, known for making very entertaining moves, aka pushing where they shouldn't be able to go. It's the two Germans who come into the corner first. Up at the front, Gegenheimer and Klausmann, their countrymen are just at the back there. Rika in the black, but at the moment Gegenheimer is just keeping an eye on Klausmann. He's going to let Klausmann just come through a little bit here going into the double. He wants to take that nice and safely. He's got a brand new bike underneath him, Simon Gegenheimer. He won't want to have that down on the floor. He won't have to polish anything else as Rika makes a move now. So the three Germans making a move up on to the front. Will they be able to make this stick? They are changing places all the way over here now. This is going to be interesting. Riker in 1, Klausmann in 2, Gegenheimer in 3. Not panicking, neither is Thibaut Kalhoven. He had a terrible qualifying ride. He just scraped in qualifying in the time trial. He then put in a great ride in the 8th finals to go through as another big dig goes in. And this time around, you can see that Gegenheimer comes through. Gegenheimer and Rika looking very, very similar, all in the black, both with the moustache in action, but with the blue glasses and the rainbow bands. That is Gegenheimer, the former world champion, sitting his 2. His teammate in 1. So close behind me. I think Emma here in the studio has just fallen off the seat, jumping as these riders get so close on that landing. It is incredibly tight. And remember, of course, control when you're airborne is very difficult indeed. But the man leading this out in style is going to be Rika. Rika in 1, Gegenheimer in 2, Klausmann now into 3 with work to do. He pushed early. Did he push too soon? I think he did. This is the run for the line. I think we're going to see Rika secure in 1. He won't be able to relax, so Gegenheimer's telling him to get a move on. They're coming behind, but the 2 teammates go through. And it looks to me like Klausmann and Kalhoven didn't make it through by a tyre novel.
Well, Riker and Gegenheimer going through. Great to have Gegenheimer back in the mix. He's missed the last couple of rounds and, well, making his presence felt today already, which is superb. We're talking about those last couple of rounds. In the men's race, we've had 4 rounds so far. We've had 4 different winners. Are we going to see a different winner today? Well, Lachlan Brown went out in Heat 1. He won round 3. But Linda Molnar qualify Hauser and Gerely, Riker and Gegenheimer, Ceres and Wall. So it will be interesting to see who goes through to the main final, who goes through to the small final in the men's race. But first up, it's the women's semi-final, Heat 1 and Heat 2. Now, the top 2 riders in the semi-finals going through to the major final. The 2 riders in 3rd and 4th place going through to the small final to decide places 5th through to 8th. Closure, Tormena, Boissier and Van Dienst lined up and off the start.
And a big start from Gaia Tormena, just bounces a Boissier challenge off and no problems at all. Closure, who was fighting against Boissier earlier on in those quarter-finals, and now sitting between Boissier and the world champion, but Tormena where she wants to be. She likes to lead the race out. She's not as fond of the racing when she's being challenged, when she's being pushed, when she's under pressure, because she has to come from behind. She's on the front now, down those steps. She's got Closure, the former world champion, on her heels, but at the moment Gaia Tormena looking absolutely imperious. Work to do. She's been missing some of the rounds, but at the moment a fantastic fight here between Boissier and Closure. And has Boissier, the young rider, been learning from what happened in the previous rounds? She's right on the wheels of Closure. She knows where she wants to be. Van Dienst is taking probably the wisest option left to her. Sit out, keep out of trouble, save your energy for when it counts. So through the line, on to lap number 2. Tormena leading this out. It's going to be Van Dienst in a position 4. It may well be that she's thinking, I'm not going to be up there, I'm not going to make the main final, so save my energy for those minor finals, pick up as many points as I can. But I tell you, that is a risky tactic when you could have been in 3rd place, and if anything happens to the front 2, you're through. Boissier, though, starting to be distanced. Will we see Tormena take a foot off the throttle? Will we see Closure do the same to save some energy for the later races? Less impetus, I think, for these two now to drive onwards. A big look over the shoulder there by Gaia Tormena. Into the wall right. She takes a lot of height, carries a lot of speed around there. Closure taking that lower line, a transitional line from Boissier coming in low, goes high and drops down. Van Dienst going to roll in to challenge for the positions in the minor final, but going through from the semi-final to the final, across the line, almost identical in time, I'm sure. Colin Closure and Gaia Tormena in that order.
Well, Closure taking the win there, Tormena in 2. They'll progress to the main final. Boissier and Van Dienst progressing to the smaller final. Shame for Madison Boissier. She was 2nd in round 3. She made the major final last week. This is the 2nd semi-final. Civil, Migdam, Fromberger and a show sitter lined up with 15 seconds to go.
So here we go, Civil, Migdam, Fromberger going to be up against Showsitter. Fromberger will want this. Can she make it hers? We're heading to Ireland for the World Championships in a little while, but at the moment she's got to get herself into this final. She takes the front of the race. Can she hold position? She looks over her shoulder. She's looking to see where the challenge is coming from. Civil could be the big threat here. She's the rider who could well upset the apple cart. She's sitting in 4th position at the moment, but do not discount it. We saw that in her quarter-finals, but at the moment, Fromberger leading this out. Migdam and Shoesitter in that order coming down. And at the moment, it looks to me like Civil with work to do. 2 through to the main final, 2 through to the fight for 5th to 8th positions. The points from the time trial and from the elimination races added together to give us our overall series lead. At the moment, all these riders are going to score points, but which points will they be getting? Fromberger just keeping control of the race on the front. All four riders very similar line, very low on that Red Bull wall ride as a big kick comes up from the side. Now this is a real big move. Showsitter's gonna kick. She's gone past her Fromberger. Fromberger's been pushed back. What can Fromberger do about this? Lynn Migdom has moved herself up into contention as well, and Fromberger is down into 3. Big surprise at the moment. What can she do about this? She's got one more major opportunity. She can't afford to panic. Fromberger, very experienced at the racing, but she sat out the last round. Up over the top she goes. Now, will a gap open up on the front? Lynn Migdom with the lead. Showsitter in 2. Migdom with the red at the top, the black at the base of the jersey and shorts combination. The black shoulders, that Showsitter who comes up on the inside, and it looks like she's going to push on. She doesn't want to sit in position 2. She knows she could be at risk. And look at that move being made there as they come over the top now. Showsitter leading from Migdom. Fromberger going to try and carry as much speed as she can over the top. Is Fromberger going to be deposited down into the minor final? It's such a long way up this hill. Who's got the power and pace? Fromberger's challenging on the right hand side. She's going to dive into the lane. She's right on the barriers. It comes to the throw. Showsitter, Migdom, Fromberger going over the line. Civil going through behind.
0.02 of a second again. Skin of the teeth. Migdom takes that from Fromberger to be the qualifier to the main final. So Closure, Tormena, De Showsitter and Migdom, the 4 riders through to the major final. Boissier, Van Dietz, Fromberger and Civil going through to the small final. Well, the men's semi-final is up next, and I'm not sure it can be any more exciting than the women's, but we will see. The men are on the start line with 15 seconds to go. Vol, Ceres, Lind and Molnar. Oh my goodness, I can't wait.
So no long time to wait. They're away, and it is the series leader, the man who has won every one of the time trials, who took them into the chicane first. He comes out third place, stab there. Great recovery, had to put his foot down, but that is going to have cost Edwin Lind a lot of time. He's got ground to make up. The European champion Mona now into this doubles. All the riders going over cleanly there, and the work being left for Justin Waltz, currently sitting in 4th position. Now big push on the outside. Lind, how is he keeping that on 2 wheels going round the outside? He must be almost riding those barriers like a wall ride. He cuts to the inside. Where is he finding the grip on those tyres? Has he covered them in super glue? He has gone up into 2nd position, and I have no idea how he made that stick. What great bike handling, and Molnar to survive that challenge, come out and still be in contention, but they are all in the wheel tracks here of Ceres, who's going to lead them over the line. Molnar though comes up the inside. Anything you can do, I can do better. I'm going to come in and through this corner, and he takes the lead again. Well, they are dealing out the positions, shuffling them up, throwing them back down again. 3 riders in contention. Reminder, only 2 riders through. The European champion on the front, that's Molnar in the all blue. That is Ceres, one of our real fastest riders. Great overtaker on the 3rd position. 3rd wheel at the moment is the white and the red bands on of our series leader. That is Edwin Lind, the fastest man in time trial. However, he's got to do something big. They are trying to be in position 2. They don't want to be in 3. Lind keeps the spokes intact. That rear gear of Ceres must have almost been tangling with them. It's not happened, and Lind needs to pull a sprint out here. Now he goes, he leaves it late. He waited to sprint. He's pushing on the side. Where is Lind? He's got the horsepower. Lind goes through. Ceres in 2, and Molnar is out.
Well, what can I say? But Lind is currently leading the World Cup. Ceres in currently 2nd place, and Molnar is currently in 4th. Those are 3 of the top 4 in the World Cup series at the moment. What a race. To confirm, Lind and Ceres go through, Molnar will go out. Commiserations to Eddie Molnar, because that was fantastic racing. Gerli Hauser, Riker and Gegenheimer up next in Heat 2.
Riker and Gegenheimer, teammates in the black. I tell you something, they could double up for each other, but they're up against Hauser in the white with the red stripes there. The man who got the 2nd fastest time in the time trial. Another man who has been sprinted incredibly strongly out from the start. They've got Gerli in there, the Hungarian champion, in the 3rd position at the moment. Hauser in 1. yellow helmet on, white back. Then you have the first of the men in black. That is Simon Gegenheimer, identifiable by those rainbow bands. Then you've got Gerald in the red, white and green of Hungary. Then you've got Rika sitting on a position 4 at the moment. Into this sweeping left, and no scary moves just yet. When will they choose to unleash those watts? When will they put their energy down? We were lucky enough to cover the racing on esports earlier on this morning from Belgium, and we saw some phenomenal numbers coming out. I think they're going to be more than equal by the power being put down here by the riders coming out as they kick on. And it is going to be Hauser in 1. It's Gegenheimer in 2. The sprints they have to match from this morning's My Wish Sunday Race Club is pretty immense, but I tell you something, these guys are throwing everything at it. They've got to get the timing right though here, because we've seen what happens. Get it wrong, Lind came from 3rd to 1st by choosing his time to sprint. He did not sprint from that wall ride. We are seeing Gerald start to lose touch now as the pace continues. He is within crash distance, i.e. he could make a move if somebody hits the floor, but he knows that it's going to take something major for him to go and qualify now for the finals with a turn to do. Here we go, wall ride coming up. Who's going to come out first? It's going to be Hauser. Behind him, it's going to be the 2 teammates fighting for position, Gegenheimer and Rika. Gerald sits up, he's saving his energy for the minor final. Hauser and Lind, between them, could power a small town with the power they put down on that final straight. Hauser goes through, Gegenheimer right behind him. It's going to be Eureka and Gerali into the minor final.
Well, all I can say is Leuven is giving us some great racing today, and these riders are absolutely showing Belgium what mountain bike Eliminator is all about. Hauser and Gegenheimer going through to the major final. Riker and Gerali going through to the small final. Molnar and Wall will join them in that small final, whereas Lind and Ceres will join Hauser and Gegenheimer in the main final. Well, that is the full show of what we are about to see. The small final for the women, followed by the small final from the men. Then we hit the main finals. The women will be up first, then the men. This is the women's small final to sort places 5th through to 8th. We have Van Dienst, Boissier from Berger and Serval from Estonia lined up and ready to go.
So here we go. Who is going to take away the points on this? These are the riders that didn't qualify. Boissier right up in the series standings will want to make this hers. Van Dienst will want revenge. Silva will need to make a move to score some big points. And Fromberger must have a point to prove that she's coming back into form and back to her best, right in time for those World Championships that are coming up in Ireland. But it is the youngster Madison Boissier who has got the lead. Van Dienst though in 2nd position, and the first 3 riders clearing the double. It's only Serval there who rolled over that double, losing time. You can see the ground she has to make up. The technique on these features absolutely key. You've got to commit to them. You've got to have faith in your equipment, and you've got to, to some degree, take a little bit of a leap of faith that it hasn't changed dramatically since last time you raced. Remember, these riders riding time and time again the same day to make it in through to the minor or the major final. At the moment here in the small finals, this is for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place, and it is Madison Boissier of France who's going to lead them through. Then it's going to be Anne Van Diest of the Netherlands. Now Van Diest pushes on the inside. She will want to take those points, makes the move. Boissier may be glad to just hand over the reins, but it puts her at risk behind now. Previous races, up till the last 4, the first 2 places have been the place you want to be. Here, the most important place, number 1. Really, really critical. Now, Serval made a move over the side of Fromberger. Is Fromberger waiting for a move in to the final corner? She's losing ground. She's losing a little bit of ground here, and it looks to me like Fromberger has decided that that's enough for today. She's done what she can do. She's going to keep herself safe and keep out of trouble. So into the corner they go. Boissier comes on the inside. Can she make it stick? Van Diest on the outside, and a good fend off there. Big defensive move there by Madison Boissier to hold Serval at bay. She's such a dangerous rider, Serval. She could make a move and she could pounce at any point, but good bossing it from the front by Van Diest, who's going to lead them in towards the line. Van Diest is going to take position 5. Serval makes the move. She bounces, she strikes, she's going to score a 6th place here today. It's going to be a 7th place for Boissier after leading for so long, and it's the high fives from the crowd for Marion Fromberger.
Well, these women are giving us phenomenal racing to watch today. Van Dienst, Swivel, Boissier and Fromberger. 5th through to 8th place today. The racing here is electric. What a great course, what a great round, what great racing. Phenomenal from these women. Next up is going to be the men's small final. I'm not sure it can be any more exciting. Wow.
I'm not sure it can be. I'm not sure my voice will last to the end of it. So I've got it back for this. Let's see who's going to take this out.
Well, Wall from France, Gerli from Hungary, Riker from Germany and Molnar from Romania lined up and ready to go.
4 riders, 4 positions, 5th through to 8th. They all want those points. They all need them for the series standing. Gerli, massive kick out there. Really high revs as well. Goes forward on the bike, tries to hold position. Molnar makes a move up the inside wall. Getting a real taste of what Mountainbike XCE is all about. It's about power, it's about skill, it's about bravery. It's about making sure that your bike is optimized for the course, wherever that is. And you've got to be able to do it time and time again. Repeat it all the way through the day, and then you might just make the finals. Rika making a move, putting a push down and opening a gap. He opened that up early. He's carrying a lot of pace around that corner. He runs really wide onto the step up. All 4 riders over the step up the 5 little riser steps into the wall ride. The last corner each lap. It spits our riders down and onto the cobbles. It's a straight run for the line. Molnar moves over the side of Gerli. Wall is coming as well. He's not out of it. The gap has opened up in front. Now Wall takes a look on the right. He takes a look on the left. Will he make a move? He's certainly looking dangerous when they come into the final. He could make a move and take away the positions in front of him quite easily by the look at it. He's got to stay in position. Riker in the driving seat though. Takes a little look down at the floor before coming into the chicane. Over the top they go. Wall just scrubbing a little bit of speed, holding the bike up in the air there a little bit longer so he didn't run down directly onto the back wheel of Gerli. But Gerli and Wall losing a little bit of time now. So in the black is Rika, in the white of the European champion, that's Molnar. In the red, white and green is Gerli, and in the orange, that is Wall. And they are coming into that last turn. Can Rika really get this now? In he goes high, carries the pace in and around. Who's got the big sprint on him? Rika's opening it up. Molnar's coming at him, and Molnar has held some power in reserve. He's coming past. He's doing an Ed Clancier sprint. He did it sat down. Molnar, I tell you what, that man must have hamstrings of steel.
Well, I'll tell you something, he wanted those points because Eddie Molnar, lying in 4th place overall in the series standings, wanting to pick up as many points as possible, and finishing 5th in the small final gives him that additional points element to try to maintain that position in the overall. Well, it was indeed fast and furious. Molnar pipping Riker to the win there. Wall and Gerli coming through in 3rd and 4th. So Molnar takes 5th, Riker takes 6th, Wall takes 7th, and Gerli from Hungary takes 8th place in the men's competition today. Now up next is the women's final with 15 seconds to go. From France we have Colleen Closure, Italy Gaia Tormena, Belgium Chanel de Chaussette, and Denmark Lena Migdom.
So Tormena will want to take this from the front. She's in lane 2. She's got a kick, but look at Closure go. She's not giving this away. They're shoulder to shoulder, and that was elbow to elbow. And there's still no quarter given. Closure is right on her. She knows that she needs to pressurize the world champion all the way in and through. Over the jump she goes. If you go in too fast, carry too much speed, get that takeoff wrong, you're not going to land it right. You're not necessarily going to carry the right amount of speed out as they go over. They're trying to minimise the height over the double but clear it. Such fine margins, and both riders almost casing the top of the landing as they came down there, cutting it fine. But look at the pace. This is about technique. This is about carrying speed over the obstacles. At the moment, 1 and 2 in this race. The current world champion and the former world champion on their way. It is going to be Tormena in 1. It's Closure in 2. They're off the top of the wall. They're making this theirs at the moment. Who is going to be joining them on the podium at the moment? Shosita is burying herself here. Looks like she has got a little bit of a gap on to Lynn Migdam. Migdam holding tight on the centre of the bars, minimising the wind resistance down this long straight. But this is going to be a big kick towards the line. So at the moment, it's Tormena with the gap. She's continued to open it up as we go into lap 2 through the chicane. Over the double she goes, cleanly done behind her. Closure just holds it in the air nicely there, lets it roll down the face there on landing. She's coming in, she's going to take that left-hand turn, making her way down and in. So we're going to see how smoothly she can do this. It's going to be about making sure she nails this into the finish. Well, can she do it? It's going to be good news for Tormena. She's back. She should be back with a win. She took away maximum points in the time trial. She's taking away maximum points here today by the look of it as she goes in. It is Tormena. She's going to take one. It's going to be Closure in 2. Look at the elation there from the world champion. Big sprint behind for the podium. Closure's going to get 2, 3 and 4. Well, look at that. It's going to be Migdam. It's going to be Shosita 3 and 4.
Well, Gaia Tormena takes her 3rd win of the season so far. Her 3rd World Cup win coming today in Leuven in Belgium. She didn't take the win in round 1. She took the win in round 2. She didn't take the win in round 3. She took the win in round 4. But she's broken the even numbers. She's won round 5. 3 wins out of 5 races for Gaia Tormena so far this year in 2024.
Absolutely flying and looking so strong as she came into the finish. What a ride. Tormena just extended that lead as she came in and through. Great riding. Fantastic.
Well, it was indeed. There's confirmation. Tormena, Closure, Migdam and Shosita. That is the 1, 2, 3, 4 today in round 5 of the UCI MTB Eliminator World Cup for 2024. Well, next up is the men's final. This is going to be cracking. If all the previous racing has got anything to do with it, Ceres from France, Hauser from Austria, Lind from Sweden and Gegenheimer from Germany.
So here we go, this is the kick-off from the line. Who's going to take away maximum points? Lind, the series leader, drops into 2nd place. It's Hauser leading them out. Hauser looks over his left shoulder. They're not there, they're out on the right. Lind is on his shoulder. Sarah's in the blue. Gegenheimer in the black. They are line astern going up over the top of the first of our obstacles into the second, into this big double. It's Hauser in 1. Hauser goes over and all 4 riders smoothly over. Gegenheimer with work to do. So is Ceres. Do not discount a single one of these 4 riders. They have all taken wins. They are more than capable of taking away victory. The man who came here with the series lead to lose his Lind, he's the man who wants maximum points here today.
Mountainbike Eliminator was Leuven Klassie. Hauser hier dus aan de leiding. En de enige concurrentie is dan de man van het tweede. Edwin Lind. En zie dan blijven voorzichtig voor de man van het Oostenrijk. Nog altijd aan de leiding. Jawel. En hij lijkt het te gaan doen. Theo Hauser is riding with a big smile with a happy face. It's looking good for this rider. Out of Austria with a lot of speed, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go, into the final turn. Theo Hauser, in and out of the final turn. On the last straightaway, ladies and gentlemen, clap your hands for this rider of Austria. He is winning the Swiss World Cup. 33. Simon Gegenheimer, the World Champ 2021, in 4 over the line. De dames en heren, dit waren de kwart, de halve en de finales. Maar blijf zeker nog langs de kant. Nog een uur hebben we hier in ieder geval spektakel in Leuven, België. We gaan ons klaarmaken voor de short track race. Dus iedereen langs de kant blijft op die positie. We gaan ons klaarmaken voor de short track race. Zowel 10 minuten bij de vrouwen als 10 minuten bij de mannen. Short track racing. Coming at you.
This year? Third.
After the interview, you have to close the show because Emma. Okay.
We'll talk.
You can start interview.
Gaia, another dominant win today. Tell us, how did this race happen for you?
Yes, another win, of course. I'm very happy about it. I started the day that I was pretty nervous, pretty stressed, because here in Belgium, you know, bicycle is something very, very big, and I know it is full of passionate people. And yeah, it was a fast race from the quarterfinal, and then we reached the big final with other 3 very, very strong girls. And yes, I just decided to start as fast as possible and do the race from the front. And I made it. I'm very, very happy.
It's a very fast track today. It's a good test for Alan, I think.
Yes, of course. That's also one of the reasons why I was so nervous, so stressed probably before the race. It is the last race before Alan. And yeah, my last race with the rainbow jersey, because who knows what will happen in Alan. So I'm very happy that I could honor the jersey from the first day until the last one.
For sure you did. Enjoy this win and good luck in Alan.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Dames en heren, nogmaals de kwart, de halve en de finale. Erop bij de Elite Women en de Elite Men. En er gaat zeker nog net zo'n mooi spektakel plaatsvinden voor de short track race.
So the flower ceremony for the women's race. Tormena in 1, Closure in 2, Migdom in 3. Smiles all around. Phenomenal racing today in Leuven. We've been coming to you from Belgium for the MTB Eliminator World Cup, and the women's race did not disappoint. Now, if you are new to MTB Eliminator or you want to keep up with everything that's going on, you can follow City Mountainbike on social media and you can sign up for their newsletter. Now, Tormena currently now topping the world standings, extending that lead from Didi de Vries. Boissier in 3. So I apologise for the loss of audio due to a lightning strike on the commentary studio.
Theo, your first ever win in the UCI World Cup.
From the house
must be a great emotion for you.
Yeah, it's very great, but I can't realize it now. But I've worked so hard for it. 2 weeks ago in Balancaraya, 3rd place. Last week 2nd, and now the win. I think this is the best preparation for the World Champs in 1 month.
You kind of dominated the final heat from start to finish. You were feeling really great today?
Yeah, I was feeling really great. The lap is getting harder and harder every year, but I was good at from the start, every heat, and now in the last heat the win is incredible.
Yeah, what does this mean for you, for such a young guy to win a UCI World Cup race?
I can just say this is just the start. I want to win more World Cups and the World Champs, and yeah.
Good luck with that. Enjoy today first, man.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mama, Papa, Lens, Max, Tony.
Theo Houser vanuit Oostenrijk, die hier de eerste reach bij de Mountainbike Eliminator carrière weet te pakken. En natuurlijk gewoon weer de wereldkampioen van het Italië van voren, Gaia Tormena. Ze is binnen voor. De heren zijn zo staan voor de vrouwen ceremonie.
You go on the sponsor wall. Theo.
So what a day's worth of racing. Next time, round 6, we go to Brazil on Sunday the 18th of August. But up first, the World Championships on Saturday the 13th of July from Aalen in Germany. Join us to see who will be wearing the rainbow jersey for the rest of the 2024 season. Leuven did not disappoint. We've had some phenomenal racing. Gaia Tormena from Clean Clasure, Lena Migdam and Chanel de Chaussiter taking the top 4 in the women's. Theo Hauser, Edwin Lind, Lorenzo Ceres and Simon Gegenheimer, the top 4 in the men's race today. The overall World Cup Series standings will be adjusted from the racing that we've seen today, with surprises as Perrin Gagne going out in the 8th final, Lachlan Brown going out in the quarterfinal. It has been absolutely superb.
What is going through your head right now? Good stuff, you did it all by yourself, amazing final, it was close racing by the first lap, but from the second lap you were creating a huge gap to the second race rider, Edwin Lind. It was not close enough. How is that feeling for you? Crazy. It was one of the hardest times ever. All the good riders
Join us on Saturday the 13th of July for the World Championships in the UCI MTB Eliminator. We'll be coming to you from Aalen in Germany. Until then, enjoy your riding. See you again soon. Goodbye.
2 weeks ago, 1 week ago you were second, and right now you are on top of the ball. Well done, Theo. All the best of luck with the short track race.